You're listening to Tech Talks, the TV industry podcast from Broadcast Tech Magazine. My name's Jake Bickerton and I'm the editor of Broadcast Sport and Broadcast Tech magazines. This episode of the Broadcast Tech Talks podcast is with Jamie Hindhaugh, COO of BT Sport, and Sam Kemp, Products and Devices Tech Director at EE and BT. And we're here to talk about the match day experience that BT Sport and EE have rolled out over recent weeks. It enhances live matches with a series of immersive features, including AR insights and behind-the-scenes stadium tours, access to BT Sport's Watch Together function, and a new 360-degree pitch view, essentially enabling you to watch the game from any angle you like. But rather than me telling you a lot more about it and probably getting a lot wrong, I'll hand over maybe first to Jamie, who can tell us a little bit about what exactly match day experience is.
Yeah, okay. Morning, Jake. So match day experience very much is a sign of the times, but also builds on BT Sport's rich innovation history, which you've heard me say many times before, which is a very simple editorial strategy of taking people to the heart of sport. So where we were first with 4K, taking people, giving them better picture quality, first to 8K, first to Dolby Atmos, bringing the sound of the stadium into their home. We were looking at opportunities that I'll let Sam talk about around the capabilities of new platforms, actually, and new functionality that could allow us to enhance the experience for our audiences at a time when you can't physically go to a game or go to a game with your friends. And what we wanted was to build together a portfolio of products that, when all used together, really do transport you to the heart of the action at our main Premier League game at 12:30. You know, from building on previously we had 360 4K. We've built out on that using 8K, which means the picture quality is better, but you can also pinch and zoom, for instance. And you talked about a Watch Together, which you can go with 3 of your friends virtually to the game. It's all synced up, so you can watch the game together, see the reactions, have that banter. And then the AR side actually is really, really interesting, because especially the stadium experience, because it actually takes fans into parts of the stadium they couldn't even go if they were going to a game. And then there's one that you didn't mention, which is our manager mode, which is AR graphics overlaid on the live feed. So very gameish, actually, but it tells you speed, it tells you player supers, things like that. So that collective was all really important. But I think the key thing, and where this goes in with Sam, is partnering with EE was absolutely critical, looking at the capabilities of the devices, and also, you know, future-proofing with 5G rolling out, what these products could really bring to our audiences.
That management mode, actually, that's real-time graphics, is it, that you're enabling there?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, real-time graphics overlaid on the live feature, so it's actually a separate feed available of the game.
Right, okay. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about that, because the clip I've seen of it looks, you know, super impressive. Anyway, Sam, do you want to talk a little bit about EE's involvement here?
Yeah, fantastic. So look, I think, as Jamie mentioned, the collaboration or partnership with EE has been incredibly important. And I think that starts right back to, you know, we were the first to launch a 5G network back in May 2019. And we've been spending a lot of time looking at the 5G ecosystem, and also looking at the devices that are coming up from some of our biggest partners. So it's not just about the rollout of a 5G network, but it's very much about the hardware that our customers can use on that network, and how do we bring the network and the devices together to leverage those features to really bring, you know, a really differentiated experience to the customer set. And I think that's where the Matchday Experience Live was really sort of seeded out from. It was the recognition that we've got a live network that we've pushed out across 112 places across the UK. The devices ecosystem is seeing new features, i.e. 5G coming to the device, but also the LiDAR sensor for really sort of immersive AR capability. Right. And it was, how do we bring those two together with a really credible use case that could give customers a real benefit to their sort of watching and immersive experience. And I think coupled with, and Jamie touched on this, that it's very much a moment in time. With the launch of the new 5G iPhone, that's made 5G feel very mass market now. We've got, the world pandemic that we're dealing with, and we're, sharing those precious sporting moments together. Getting into stadia, of course, is more challenging than ever. So how do we sort of wrap all of that up to bring a use case that is what we hope to be very useful to our customers? That was really where the inception came from. And of course, 5G is a technology that, as an ecosystem, we sometimes struggle to talk about its relevancy and why it's important right now. So I think we've also spent some time understanding how these features can leverage the best of our 5G network to give that differentiated experience. And I think that sort of uninterrupted, seamless connection enables you to, or our customers, to immerse themselves in this experience without having to worry about that connection. Whether it's, they're entering into a watch together session with 3 of their friends, and they're all HD streams, and the connection is incredibly important. We all know what it's like to get that spinny wheel of buffering, but 5G just removes all of those challenges from the experience, allowing you to spend all of your time focusing on the experience and sharing those precious moments with friends. So the features definitely work across 4G, 5G and Wi-Fi. They just work incrementally better on 5G. And that was really important to us. We're not sort of looking to build services that specifically only focus on the 5G bearer. We don't think that would give the best use of a service across our sort of award-winning 4G network as well. But what we have done is the services that are included in the matchday experience really start to test some of the early boundaries of 5G. So they've been designed with 5G in mind.
Getcha. And does this experience, the matchday experience, is it something that you can see on any game, or is there specific games that we should look out for?
At the moment, it's our main Premier League game.
Okay.
So the 12:30 slot is where the whole matchday experience comes together. And you talked earlier, this will obviously roll out across other rights, etc. As it becomes more established. But yeah, it's the main Premier League game on BT Sport 12:30.
And other sports presumably as well, or is it specifically just for football at the moment?
It's at the moment. It's not just for football, but the matchday experience is very much around the Premier League. Watch Together you can use across multiple events. Actually, it's not limited to just the Premier League. But as we roll it out and build out those assets and opportunities, then it will look at other sports as well.
And these stadium tours, when did you produce the content for that?
We did that during where would it be now? August, September.
Right.
So it's just basically we use an 8K 360 camera, and you go into each room, place it in the middle, film that room. So that immersive experience. And I have to say, the Premier League have been fantastically supportive in enabling that in what is a difficult time getting access to different venues. But it does bring something extra to the home team in the fixture. So we're really pleased with it.
And have you managed to get most of the Premier League teams to get involved in that?
Yes.
All right, that's good. And then we talked about very briefly the manager mode. My understanding is there's various different AR graphics, including a mini map showing the positions of players from sort of tactical point of view. And then you've got the players' names, player speeds, and then the tracers, which can sort of map out the path of shots and the speed of shots and all that kind of stuff. How do you make that work in real time?
That's working with a company, also a partner of Premier League, called Second Spectrum.
Right.
So American-based company that we've, as we always do with BT Sports, set up really strong partnerships with some of these entities. So they actually provide the engine and the tool that overlays those AR graphics in real time on the footage we give them.
Right. Amazing. And is there plans to? I suppose it depends exactly what they offer of what you could then add to that AR. Is it?
Yeah, no, there's absolutely. I mean, this will evolve. I think it's got a really interesting life in analysis. And I think it's got a really interesting opportunity for when we do reversions of games as well, showing showing it in a slightly different way, Jake. But I think it's something that, especially the younger demographic, it's quite FIFA-esque, isn't it? It's giving you a lot of information at the same time, and some of the interesting facts, how fast someone's running. It really helps you understand how a forward gets past the defender when you look at the speed they're moving or the speed of the ball.
And the 360 8K stuff, presumably the manager mode isn't on the 360-degree sort of pinch view thing. It's on a separate view, is it?
Yes, you're assuming right there. Yeah, the 360 is 3 to 5 cameras, so we're offering curated feeds as well as going to different feeds. And what we have done is we did it first in 2017, but we've made it a standard now, which is have an AR jumbotron. So whichever camera you go to, you can still look up and follow the game, which is really, really important. But I mean, could it be overlaid onto it? Potentially, yes. It's actually a lot harder to do that, but we're looking at different. I mean, you may have seen that the Everton game we used a wire cam, which films, instead of your camera one panning left to right, film as it moves from left to right. So how you look at FIFA. So I'm really interested in that, and about how if you overlay these AR graphics onto that feed, it gives you a really different look and feel. But yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Yeah. How long has it taken you to develop it? Obviously, there's some partners involved and sort of getting everything together. There's the 5G side of it and making sure that that's sort of fully enabled everywhere. And then there's the technology of the phones themselves or whichever platform you're using. So, how long has it sort of taken from concept through to completion?
It's in various different pockets. So first worked with Sam and the team back in 2018 when we did the world's first outside broadcast over 5G with EE. So we were looking at watch together. We actually run a tech innovation forum every 2 years, encouraging SMEs to get involved, as you will know. I think you at one.
Oh, is that there? Yeah.
And so they, CNIC, who provide the watch together function, actually was successful about 2.5, 3 years ago now, I think it was. But there's been a lot of work in being able to sync up the picture with the audio, with the video of your friends. So that was a bit more. And when Sam come and spoke to us about the opportunities around the platform, where EE wanted to get involved, and of course talking about how we evolve and learn what we can do with 5G. This is when the existing roadmap, which we had 8K VR and watch together, was overlaid with the stadium experience and the manager mode. Because what we wanted to do was to put together a portfolio of products that complemented each other, that recognised the sign of the times. And Sam's absolutely right. You could do this on 4G, but actually 5G is a game changer for me in allowing our audiences to access our content. And I see this as the start of a really strong partnership with Sam and EE.
Obviously, once lockdown's finally sort of lifted, people can go back to stadiums again. Is this type of innovation still as applicable then?
I think it is as applicable. I think, let's be honest, if I was travelling to the stadium, I'm having my pre-match beer, sat in my seat, to be able to look around the stadium while I'm sat there, to be able to overlay onto the actual pitch the AR highlights at halftime. To be able to look at those different angles. And what's really interesting, of course, is we can start creating a return path as well. So we know what people are looking at the stadiums. But, one of the challenges I really face is to really truly take people to the heart of sport. How do they feel that they're part of the conversation? What's happening in the stadium? So yeah, absolutely, completely relevant.
Just building on Jamie's point there as well, that sort of digestion of data is we know is incredibly important to a whole myriad of different people, whatever they're consuming, whether it's sport or social media content. And exactly to Jamie's point, having the ability to put the match day live AR live stats on your lap whilst watching a game is practically a second screen to your viewing experience. So in that downtime, sports fans are able to kind of immerse themselves in more data, which enriches the conversation, sparks more debate, and can really aid that stadium experience. So I'm really excited to see people how they use these new features and sort of incorporate it into their sporting experience.
And so, one of the things I noticed as well on the press release is that one of your plans to roll out quite soon is Dolby Atmos as well in this match day experience. That sounds like potentially very interesting. Would you need some special kit to be able to take advantage of that?
It depends on the feed. There's a lot of technology in the background around the platforms and enabling that.
Yeah.
But the end user product, the headphones, they're pretty standard.
Right. So you could be just having a pair like this and get that proper immersive audio.
You could have a pair that look as good as yours do, Jake.
That's good to hear.
We believe that this is one of the first applications that will have Dolby Atmos all the way through from broadcast into the application, the playback, and then also into some specific headphones that are available on the market. And I think with Apple as well, they've also released a feature called Spatial Audio, which is an algorithmic technology which, as you move your head, it's like moving your head at the stadium. So if you move the sounds to your left ear and you move to the left, it gets louder. And I think to James' point, that is going to enrich that experience beyond belief from an audio perspective. So you could just imagine someone commuting, watching match day live, on the bus, connected via 5G with no connection issues, with the best sound in the business. I'd absolutely encourage your listeners to get out and try and use some of these features. I think they give that real sort of intimate access to some of the most amazing parts of sport. So enjoy.
Fantastic. Oh, lovely speaking to you both.
Super.
Thanks, Jake.
Cheers. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Broadcast Tech Talks podcast. Please subscribe, rate and review, and I'll see you next time.